Welcome back to Muscle TV. I'm here with Extreme Chef Peter Wright. We're back in the kitchen. How are you today, Pete?
Good, thanks, Tony. What about you?
Always well. Always well. When we're around food, things are good.
And what sort of food have we got here today, mate?
Well, we're looking at something a little bit different today, and it's called carb backloading. Now, most people know what carb loading is. That's something that athletes have done for decades now, is to build up their carbohydrates coming into a sporting event. So AFL footballers, fighters, marathon runners, anyone that needs a big bunch of energy, they lower their carbs a little bit early in the week and then they increase the carbs right up till the night before the event. So they've got all this glycogen in their body which converts to energy. That's what carb loading is. We're going to talk about carb backloading, is where you have the carbs after the event. Carb loading, you have the carbs before the event. And I talked before about marathon runners and AFL footballers, all these people that play contact sports eating up into the event. It's also important for them to carb backload, because after the event they're so exhausted, they run so many miles in a game, they've got to get carbohydrates back into their system. And that's what we're talking about with bodybuilders, is when you've been to the gym, fighters, anyone that trains really hard, keep this for your training days that are right off the hook, where you do that extra 10 sets, you do your legs, your back, your big muscles, where you're doing deadlifts and squats and all those things that really drain you, and you say, right, now I'm going to give my body a chance to really recover and be ready for the next workout by shoveling the carbs into the body. And this is how you can break through the barriers and put on those couple of kilos that you might be not getting on. Where people make a mistake, particularly beginners and young blokes starting out, as they hear people say, oh, you've got to have these low carb diets. That's fine when you're trying to trim up and keep your waistline down. But when you're young and your body's growing, what you've got to do is put a maximum amount of carbohydrates back into your body after your heavy training days. I suggest this on leg day and on back day, where you do a whole lot of sets. In fact, if you know you're going to do this, you train even harder. Do an extra 10 sets. Really trash yourself in the gym so your body's ready to suck up all the nutrients you give it. Bodybuilders need carbs to grow because they spike your insulin system. That's a very powerful hormone that helps to get the nutrients back into your cells.
So Tony, so what you're saying is you want the body to release insulin when you're eating?
Correct. Insulin's a very powerful, naturally occurring hormone in your body, which shuttles all the nutrients around into your cells. And if your cells are damaged enough, then you can really overload them with carbohydrates and force the glycogen back into the muscle so you're big and full and strong and recover the next day. So we talk about protein being the building blocks, they are, but the cells contain glycogen, and that's energy ready to go, and you can really run it down, particularly for the young blokes, you know, just learning how to train heavy. They've got to get those carbs back into the muscles. So it's not just for a light training day, but for a very heavy training day, we're going to talk about putting in a massive amount of carbohydrates from when you train to when you go to bed. And the best way to start is with Max's Supersize. So as soon as you finish training, have 3 big scoops of that straight into your protein shaker while you're still in the gym.
So that's directly after the big workout, go straight into a big carb meal.
Yeah, like you've got a window of opportunity, which we've talked about on Muscle TV for years, that after you train, you've got this window of opportunity where your body will suck up anything that you eat immediately and very quickly. And that's why a liquid food is the first thing you should get in after your workout. But rather than just having whey protein isolate that we talk about all the time, we're going to say get some Supersize in, because it still has your protein, but it's also got some carbohydrates which are then readily available to get the whole process working. Now, what a lot of people don't realise, and one of the great things about Supersize, it's really good for hard gainers. For people that have trouble putting on weight, they just have whey protein all the time, they don't get any results. If you're a hard gainer, you've got a fast metabolism, there's nothing better than Supersize to break through those barriers and to get the carbs and protein in equal proportions back into your muscles. So instead of having 1 scoop or 2 scoops, be a devil, have 3 scoops, get it into your shaker and knock that straight down while you're still at the gym. And then the fun begins.
Well, Tony, I'm looking at the foods we need to eat here, and we've got a fairly good variety. There's some things that I really love to eat. My favourite, peanut butter sandwich, some nice cookies there. You know, what's going on with all that?
Well, it's all different types of carbohydrates. We want to get the whole spectrum of carbs in. We want the fast-acting ones, the slow-acting ones, the high glycemic, the low glycemic. We want as many carbs as we can. And the beauty of biscuits and cookies and peanut butter sandwiches, even ice cream, is they really do spike that insulin system and your body sucks them up really quick. So they can be great in between your meals. They can be great when you're leaving the gym. You might want to have your Supersize shake at the gym and then nibble on some biscuits on your way home before you have a big meal. And that'd be something like this. And you might look at that and say, gee, that's a lot of food. Well, if that's a lot of food, you're not training hard enough. You've really got to destroy yourself in the gym. That big leg workout, 20 sets, 25 sets, 30 sets of legs or back, and your body will be ready for this. So really test yourself in the gym and then get all these different varieties of carbs into you. So you might have some nibble on some biscuits on the way home, then then have this giant meal. So, okay, well, I can't do another giant meal, but yeah, I could sneak a peanut butter sandwich in. Well, good, do that. And then wait an hour and then have some white potatoes and some white rice. Once again, high glycemic carbs straight into your body, into your bloodstream. Then you might back off and have your steak or chicken with some brown rice, clean it up a little bit, wait another hour. When that digests, go again. And you know the best bit? When you have your protein shake at night, 3 more scoops of supersize with ice cream. Put milk, ice cream, everything we tell you not to do, load it right up and you get a whole lot of calories to really work their way into your bloodstream while you sleep and fully recover from that giant workout.
So just to clarify, Tony, who would this be best for to eat?
Well, it rhymes. For a hard trainer and a hard gainer. This is for the sort of people who really bust it out in the gym and have trouble putting on weight. All right, if you're a bit tubby, a bit fat, this is not the diet for you because it's just going to do all the things you don't want to do. This is what we're telling you not. But a lot of people that watch the show, they work on the tools, they're tradesmen, they go to footy train, and they go off to the gym, and they burn more calories than they could ever eat. Therefore, they lose weight. They say, oh, I'll go to the gym, I'm not putting on any muscle. It's because you don't eat enough. You really have to push your boundaries, not just with your training, but with your nutrition. So this is a way for a hard gainer, a young bloke who's just been going to the gym, maybe his first year or two, that's on the tools and, you know, on the footy training and all the different things, maybe doing a bit of martial arts at night and then off to the gym. So probably twice a week, just let it all go and rip into some big meals like this, some high glycemic carbohydrates, a bit of dirty food. It's not a bad thing, and you'll find you'll break through those barriers and take your training, your recovery and your body to the next level.
So just to confirm, Tony, this is just a once in a while thing every couple of days, not every day?
Twice a week would be good. If you're really pushing yourself to the limit and you've got a sticking point, you can't get through it, certainly twice a week. I reckon after back day and after leg day, or if you're a fighter and you have a 15-round spar or something like that, that's the time to do it. You know, if you're a footballer, you do it after a game. If you're a weightlifter or a bodybuilder, you do it after your big, heavy session. So look, once or twice a week, certainly not out of the question. If you're a little bit worried about having too much food, once a week. If you're a super hard gainer, 2 or 3 times a week. Just test yourself out because it's gonna make you grow.
So Tony, is there anything in this diet you want to stay away from?
Absolutely not. In fact, you've got to break some rules. Sometimes it's not convenient to have all this clean food and to sit around all day eating. So that's where the bars and cookies and things come into play. And you can get the Max's cookies. They're high in protein, higher carbohydrates, high in calories. Keep a couple in your glove box, in your work bag. If you can't get home to eat enough, then get some of that stuff into you and that'll help you grow even more. You've got to think, Pete, if you're just getting the same old results and you're not breaking through the barriers, then something has to give. Best thing is, break some rules.
So mix it up a bit?
Mix it up. Try and have clean food, but, well, I'd prefer you to have too much than not enough. Load up, and this is, for, as I keep saying, for the people with the faster metabolisms, the young guys that are hard gainers, this is what we're talking about when we say break some rules. So to sum it up, this is for hard trainers and hard gainers. We want to spike their insulin systems to get the glycogen back into the muscles, to help them fully recover and to break through the barriers. If you've hit a sticking point, then break some rules. That's what today's all about. Not for everyone, but certainly for our hard gainers out there. Pete, it's been great having you back in the kitchen today. We've got to talk about some of your favourite foods.
Yeah, hard gainers, hard trainers, and all things good.
Now Pete wants to be a bodybuilder. We'll see you after the break.